welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy and today we are going to talk about incentives that crew members can work towards when working on a cruise ship, besides like their money and their salary and stuff like that. But before we get started, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and if you are wanting to work on a cruise ship, then please go over to my website cruisingascrew.com and check out the career guides that I have made that will answer any question you have about working on cruise ships. The first one is time off. So when you are working on a cruise ship, obviously you are going to all of these wonderful destinations. So a huge incentive for crew is time off. So your manager might say, if you get 3 good review cards, or if you make your target, if you do this specific job well, then you will get an extra 2-3 hours off. Now, while you are sat at home, you're probably thinking, 2 or 3 hours off? Trust me, when you are on a ship, every hour off matters. Every hour counts, and it's surprising how much you can really get done in an hour, 2 hours. So I found that working on a cruise ship, this is the best incentive for crew, because crew members just want to feel like they're on a cruise, or they just want some time off to sleep or call their family, or hey, who doesn't want more time off? Whether you're working on a cruise ship or whether you're working on land, who doesn't want more time off? So time off is a fantastic way to incentivize crew members, and as a crew member, it's my favourite way to be well, I don't really get incentivized anymore, but it was my favourite way to be incentivized. And you know what? I would not work nearly as hard for extra money or anything else extra. If my manager said, hey, for every 3 good review cards you get, you'll get an hour off, you best believe I was getting like 9 good review cards. Give me that time off. Crew parties. So cruise lines will often incentivize their crew with crew parties. So for example, most cruise lines have multiple cruise ships, and each cruise ship within that cruise line is in competition with each other to be the best. The best in terms of food, to get the best passenger reviews, to be the best in every way. So the cruise line will say, okay, the ship that gets the best food reviews this month, or gets the best friendly crew reviews this month, or maybe does the best in general, will get a crew party thrown for them. And crew parties thrown for the cruise line are fantastic because they pay for a DJ, they pay for all of the alcohol, everyone has an absolute blast. A lot of people don't remember it, but they're really good fun. So being incentivized with a crew party is always great, and it's nice because it brings the crew together. Everyone's working towards a common goal, everyone wants that crew party, so everyone's really keen on making sure that they're getting their good review cards, that they're doing what they can to reach the goal. So I always really enjoy when the cruise line incentivize the crew, and also it makes every ship perform better, which is never a bad thing. Access to passenger areas. So there is a ranking system on cruise ships. So the captain is the highest ranking person on board, which means he can go anywhere on that cruise ship, from the engine room to the passenger bars. He can go wherever he wants, or she wants. The lowest ranking crew member is usually people in the laundry area. No shade, but that's just usually the lowest ranking crew. As a shoppie, I was pretty low ranking as well on other cruise lines. But anyway, by the by, there's a ranking system. The higher ranking you are, the more places you can go. The lower ranking you are, you tend to have to stay in crew areas. Now these rules are in place for a reason, and it's funny, when I was on P&O, I don't know if I've spoken about this before, but when I was on P&O, I was always like, oh, it's so unfair that, you know, these crew members can't go in these areas, or these crew members can't go in these areas. But I went on Virgin. When Virgin initially started, their ethos was like, everyone's equal, everyone should be able to go in all areas of the ship, you know, this is your home, whatever. And hey, love that, fantastic ethos, love it, but it doesn't work. Because when you have Housekeeping, for example, a massive department. When you have all of housekeeping going to the passenger restaurant, all of a sudden you've got passengers waiting for their food because housekeeping are being served first. Because, not housekeeping, but crew members are being served before them, and that should never be the case. So, the reason that like certain departments are allowed in areas and others aren't is usually because there's less of them. They started out with this rule and they quickly had to revise it because they were like, this isn't working. So after the revision, shoppies were allowed in more places than housekeeping, and this is simply because there was a total of like 20 shoppies and there was about 150 housekeeping. So do you see what I mean? Like, it's a lot less people to let loose in passenger areas. But by the by, we're talking about incentives. So what your managers may do, this is cruise line to cruise line dependent, but they may say, hey, if you get good review cards, if you hit your target, if something, then I will let you go for a meal in this restaurant where you're not normally allowed to go, or you will be able to use the pool deck this afternoon where you're not usually allowed to go. Use of passenger spaces is a big incentive. It's not the most common incentive, however it is used, and I think it's quite a good one because you get to use spaces that you haven't used before. The next one is Wi-Fi cards. On most cruise ships you have to pay for Wi-Fi as a passenger and as a crew member. So an incentive that is used quite a lot is if you do a good job, if you hit your target, if you get good reviews, good comments, etc., then your manager or the company will get you a Wi-Fi card. So maybe they'll purchase you a $20 Wi-Fi card that will give you like, I don't know, 1,000 minutes or something like that. But this is a really nice incentive. Obviously it saves you money. Everyone spends money on Wi-Fi, so it's wonderful if you can get a Wi-Fi card in exchange for just doing your job well. And then the last one I'm going to mention is team meals. So if you are part of a team, your manager will often incentivize the whole team with a team meal, maybe a little party, a movie night, a spa night, which I think is really lovely. And it happened a few times on my other ships. So for a team building exercise as a reward for hitting target, my manager would organise with the spa manager that the shop's staff could use the spa one evening, and it was lovely. So we would just have a wonderful like team building experience, obviously a nice relaxing time in the spa as a reward for all hitting the overall target or something like that. So team meals or team building experiences is always something really nice, and again it bonds the team because you're all working towards a common goal, so that's always great. But yeah, so those are just a few incentives that crew members work towards. The most common one by far is time off. That's the one that you can expect to see a lot of, and hey, in my opinion it's the best one. But yeah, so I hope you have found that interesting. If you are going on a cruise ship soon, but you still have a lot of questions that you want answers to, then you can send me an email by going to my website, or you could just go over to my website and look at the pre-made career guides that will answer all of your questions. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. And yeah, good luck with everything that you are trying to accomplish right now. I hope everything works out in your favour, and I will see you next Sunday.